Okay, here we go, and do you smell that? It smells like trade season is on the horizon, and Jeff Passan has a story for us here in his article on ESPN+. No, it's not about Shohei Ohtani. It's about Shane Bieber. He writes here, the imperative for the Cleveland Guardians before July 1st is easy. Figure out if they can hit at all, and then figure out whether Shane Bieber is going to bring them more at the deadline or the winter. 3 general managers this week said they believe Bieber will be dealt before August 1st. Let's talk about the Guardians here for a second. As of right now, they're 4.5 out with a record of 25-31. This AL Central is not very good. I mean, even the White Sox, who have gotten off to a horrible start this year, are only 7.5 out right now. You would think that they would be like 15 games out at this point. In another division, they would be that much out. They have been terrible this year, but who knows? A good June, maybe the White Sox can claw back into this thing. But for the Guardians, it's a talented team. They absolutely could be in first place if they just get hot. You know, this division is really close. I mean, even the Tigers right now, not a lot of people were high on the Tigers coming in, but they're in second place right now, 2.5 out. Anything can happen in this division. So it is still a wait and see approach. Sure, this division is pretty weak, but if you make the playoffs, anything can happen. So the Guardians, I still think we're in a bit of a wait and see mode here, but I do agree here by July 1st, they're going to have to make a decision here. And with Shane Bieber, he is a free agent, or he's under control for next season, and then he's a free agent after that. I would imagine Shane Bieber wants to test the free agent market. The Guardians, they haven't really given out big contracts in the past. I know they signed Andres Jimenez, to an extension before the season started, but Shane Bieber is going to cost a lot of money. Remember, they dealt Francisco Lindor to the Mets. Shane Bieber, I don't know if the Guardians are going to want to sign him to probably the numbers that he is looking for. So, pictures, they're getting a lot of money on the open market right now. So my guess is Bieber would like to test the market unless he gets an extension with the numbers that he is looking for with what these pitchers are getting paid. He's very good this season. 12 starts, 75 innings pitched, a 3.72 ERA, a 4.14 FIP. These numbers are a little bit up from last year. If we take a look here, he had a 2.88 ERA last year, 2.87 FIP. The strikeouts are down and the walks are down. The home runs are up a little bit. So he's not as effective as he was last year, but Shane Bieber, he has the track record. He's been very good over the last few years. So teams, I think, would love to have the opportunity to go after Shane Bieber. So in this video, I'm going to go over some teams that I think could be good fits for Shane Bieber. There's going to be plenty of teams that could be an option. Pretty much any playoff team is going to be looking for starting pitching. And also, getting back to this article here, he says here they're trying to figure out whether or not Shane Bieber is going to bring them more at the deadline or the winter. I honestly think he could end up bringing you more at the deadline because the market for starting pitching is so thin right now. And to get a guy like Shane Bieber on a playoff contender that could really, he's like a game 2 starter for you. I mean, that could be huge for you in the playoffs. So I could see teams, because of the lack of availability in starting pitchers, I could see, these teams really going the extra mile to land a guy like this. So the Guardians might think it could be very worthwhile to trade him now instead of waiting until the winter. So in this video, I'm going to go over some teams that I think would be good fits. And like I said, any team really in contention for the playoffs would love to have a guy like Shane Bieber. But it's not just about the teams, maybe in need of starting pitching. It's going to come down to, are they good trade partners as well? So I'll take a look at some of these teams. Let's get to it. Maybe Shane Bieber can stay in the Central, but go to the National League and go to the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals got off to that horrific start, but they have been playing a lot better in recent weeks. 25-32 as of right now. That looks way better than what their record looked like earlier on. They're only 4.5 out in this division. I mean, this division isn't very good either. It's the same thing as the AL Central. Maybe you could argue that this division is the worst in baseball. But the Cardinals, personally, I do think the Cardinals are the best team in this division. I think pretty much everyone thought that about the St. Louis Cardinals. I do think in the next month or so, I think you're going to see the Cardinals just eventually get to first place. So that's just my opinion. 4.5 out as of right now. But one big problem with the St. Louis Cardinals earlier on was their starting pitching. It was horrific. Wilson Contreras, there were some questions about whether or not he could really, work with the pitchers, or at that point there was question marks, but it looks like everything is smoothed over. in recent weeks. They do have a pretty solid 1-5 on paper. Jack Flaherty's been pitching decent lately. You got Montgomery, who's been pretty solid this year. You got obviously Adam Wainwright. He's the vet guy in that rotation. Michaelis has been doing really well lately. Liberatore is a guy still trying to find his way, but he's got a lot of talent. And like I said, the Cardinals starting pitching over the last few weeks has been doing great. Over the last 2 weeks, they are 6th overall in Fangraph WAR with a 4.16 ERA and a 3.48 FIP. So those are really solid numbers. So the Cardinals pitching is doing better, but let's say they really want to go for it. It is a good team this year. The Cardinals are a really good team. I thought they were a good team last year. I saw a World Series winner last year, but let's say they really wanted to beef up this rotation. Remember, they did trade for Montgomery last year, giving up Harrison Bader. Their farm isn't one of the best in baseball. They're pretty top heavy in their farm system. Now, we did just have Jordan Walker. Remember, recently he got sent back down, but it looks like he is coming back up to the major leagues. So he is still your number one prospect. Obviously, he's not going anywhere. I don't think Mason Wynn is going anywhere either. This is a really talented, a lot of raw talent with Mason Wynn. Remember, a former two-way player. He's focusing on shortstop now. I do wonder if Tink Hence goes anywhere. This is their top pitching prospect. Liberatore is still considered a prospect. You do have some other guys here. You got a Grassifo, you got a Jerpy, you got McGreevy here. So you got some other guys. So here's the trade that I put together as of right now. Actually, if you did include Tink Hence, that would really close the gap. I don't think they would give up Tink Hence. I feel like that's a guy they would really want to hang on to. So Cardinals fans, don't you come at me in the comments just because I have him here. But he would close the gap in terms of a deal. You got Jerpy as well. You got a Mejia, shortstop prospect. He's number 9. It's not the flashiest package. If you took out Tink Hence, it's going to be pretty tough to make up that value. I mean, I would imagine either Hence or Wynn would probably be have to be included. Could you maybe include a Tyler O'Neill? That, I think, could be possible if the Guardians would like to have a bat. He's 28 years old. I could maybe see something like that if they wanted some major league ready guys. Maybe you could include him in a package. Maybe you can include a Grassifo. Let's say you took out Tink Hence, right? So I'll take out Tink Hence. And if you put a Grassifo in there and maybe include a couple other guys, I don't know, could they possibly include Herrera in there? I know they do have Bo Naylor already out there, so I don't know, but I'm just looking at values here overall. So I do think this package would have to get tinkered with a little bit. The Cardinals, I think, could get a deal done. Will they do it? Remember, they were in the Juan Soto sweepstakes last year, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if they're in first place by the time the deadline comes. Maybe they feel like they really want to add, a top of the rotation guy in a Shane Bieber. He has been connected with the Cardinals going back to the offseason. So I could see the Cardinals as a legitimate threat to land Shane Bieber if they really wanted to get it done. Next, I got the Texas Rangers, who are in first place at the moment, even ahead of the defending champion Houston Astros. 35-20 as of right now. Astros 2.5 back. The Rangers have been a very fun team this year. I'm very high on the Rangers. I was high on the Rangers coming into the year. I just wasn't really sure about the health, the depth of the organization, but right now they're putting it together. They're having a fun season, and Jacob deGrom has been out lately, but Nathan Eovaldi has really stepped up for them. Why can't the Red Sox have a guy like Nathan Eovaldi? My goodness. But Nathan Eovaldi, he's been huge for them. You've had guys like John Gray really stepping up for them. Dane Dunning really stepping up for them. Martin Perez, he's been fine for the most part, I guess. Andrew Heaney, he's been a nice addition for them. But health will always be a bit of a question mark with this team. These guys do have a track record of injuries. But with deGrom, he is going to be coming back eventually. He's working his way, through some bullpen sessions as of right now. But man, when you get this guy back and then you have Eovaldi as well, I mean, that's a great 1-2 punch if those two stay healthy. But then if you can add a Shane Bieber to this rotation, like, whoa, that 1-2-3 punch would be amazing in this rotation. My goodness, I would not want to go up against that in the playoffs. But here's the deal that I put together. The Rangers have built up their farm over the last few years, so I do wonder if they would really want to break the farm system as of right now to really go for it. But hey, if they could get a deal done, why not? So I got 4 players in here right now. So it is a minor overpay right now. So I'd imagine the Rangers would have to give up a little bit here, or a little bit more here. So this is just mainly just like a starting point. So the prospects that I have here are Acuna, Gutierrez, Porter, and Zavala. So Acuna right now is number 3. We got Porter at number 5. We got Zavala at number 8. And we got Gutierrez at number 10. But you could always switch out some guys. Would the Rangers part with an Owen White? I don't know about that. That might be a little much for the Rangers to part with. Jack Leiter, I don't see them, giving him up at all. I don't know. I don't see that. But, maybe you could throw in or switch out some other guys. Maybe Justin Foscue could get in on it. Maybe a Dustin Harris. Kumar Rocker's going to be out for a while, but I don't see them ever giving up Kumar Rocker. They love him. But the Rangers do have a farm. I think they could get a deal done. I do wonder how motivated they are, to really get a deal done for, someone like this, because like I said, they have been building up that farm over the last couple of years. I don't know if they would really want to break it up as of right now, really give up on some top guys. We'll have to wait and see, but Bieber would be a huge addition for this Rangers rotation. How about the Atlanta Braves? They made a splash in the trade market in the offseason going after Sean Murphy. He's been great for them. Maybe they feel like they need to make another trade here and go after a Shane Bieber. It's a very good team here, an amazing offense. Love the offense. And even without Max Fried as of right now, their starting pitching looks really solid. Strider, one of the best pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. Michael Soroka just came back. Oh, man, great story for him. Bryce Elder has been awesome for the Atlanta Braves this year. So you do have Schuster here. You got the veteran and Charlie Moore in. Max Fried, he has been playing some catch lately. He has been throwing a little bit. So I would imagine he's going to be okay. When are we going to see him? Maybe by the end of July, possibly. We'll have to wait and see. But let's say they really wanted to beef up this starting pitching and really make a run for it in the playoffs this year. I definitely could see the Atlanta Braves. Now, the question is will they have enough? Because they have traded a lot of guys, or a lot of guys have graduated to the major league level. So will they have the prospects to really get this done? One intriguing guy they do have is Vaughn Grissom. Now, Vaughn Grissom is no longer considered a prospect, but it's been weird. He went back down to the minor leagues at one point. It's interesting with him, but let's say you wanted to include a major league ready piece here, and if you wanted to, you could maybe get this deal done. Let's say we built a package around Vaughn Grissom, and I threw in a couple other guys here. We got Smith, Shawver, as well as Murphy. Now, if we take a look at where they're at, Owen Murphy is their number 2. He is far away. He's got a lot of potential. So maybe the Braves I could see it either way. Maybe they feel like they could include him in a deal because he is so far away, or maybe they feel like they really would like to hang on to a guy like that, for the future of the farm system as well. And then Smith Shawver, he actually is going to be coming up soon, I believe. I think as of right now, he just came up just a few days ago. So I think he's in the bullpen as of right now. But this is a guy, he's had some really good numbers down in the minor leagues this year. If we go take a look, 7 starts so far in high A ball, double A, as well as triple A. He's got a 1.09 ERA over 7 starts, 45 strikeouts over 33 innings. I mean, hey, could that be a guy you possibly include? Now, with this deal, you're still a little behind in value, so I'd imagine they would have to include a little bit more here if they wanted to get a deal done, but they could have an intriguing package if they did want to include a Vaughn Grissom in this deal. Hey, Bieber on the Braves, if they got him and then you got Max Fried back healthy and just getting back to what he was doing, this rotation would be nuts. You would have Spencer Strider, Max Fried, Shane Bieber, Elder, who's been great, Morton, who's awesome, and then you got Soroka and Schuster too. I mean, come on. I mean, that would just be insane starting pitching, and then you would have him for next year too. So I wouldn't count the Braves out of this. They have been making some deals, especially Sean Murphy in the offseason, but hey, why not? I think Shane Bieber on the Braves would be awesome. Earlier, I mentioned the Diamondbacks. They're in first place as of right now, 34-23, tied with the Dodgers for the lead in the NL West. Who saw that coming? I'm just saying I didn't, pick them to win the division this year, but I saw a good team this year while a lot of people did not see a great team. And they've been really fun to watch. Really like the offense this year. The pitching, though, it has been better ever since Madison Bumgarner left, and they've been having a lot of young guys stepping up in the pitching side of things, but I feel like they could use a veteran guy here. Zach Gallen has been awesome, one of the best pitchers in baseball, but I feel like he needs a little something. I know he's got Merrill Kelly too. I'm not going to forget about him, but Shane Bieber with those two guys, whoa, that would be a huge addition for them, and I think would be a big addition for the playoffs. I like Gowan, I like Kelly. When it comes to playoff experience, they are lacking it a bit. I think someone like Shane Bieber would be really big for this rotation. And for the Diamondbacks, one advantage they have is they got a farm, man, and they got some pieces. If they really wanted to get a deal done, I think they could. Now, like, I've mentioned with these other trades, you can switch guys out. So, will they want to deal with some of these guys? Dre Jameson is a really fun pitcher. He did get sent back down to the minor leagues at one point. He's back with the Diamondbacks now. Maybe they could include him because he is a major league ready guy. And we got some other guys here as well. We got some prospects in De Los Santos, Sims, and Walston. So taking a look at where these guys are ranking. De Los Santos is number 4. So really, they're not having, in the deal that I have at least, I don't know if they would give up Brandon Pfaadt. I don't know about that. He did get sent back down to the minor leagues, but this dude's got just some talent, man. I don't think they're giving him up. I think they really want to hang on to him. But in the deal that I do have, at least this could be maybe a starting point. Pretty much all the trades that I'm mentioning here would really just be starting points. Obviously guys can be switched out. You can add guys in. So again, just a starting point. But here, I definitely think the Diamondbacks can get a conversation started if you included someone like a De Los Santos, Walston at number 5, and then I got Landon Sims. So 4, 5, 6, along with a major league ready guy in a Dre Jameson. Again, could be a starting point. But I think the Diamondbacks could be a sneaky team at the deadline this year because they do have prospects. I really think people forget the Diamondbacks have a pretty good farm system. Will they jump the gun? They've been slowly trying to rebuild this thing. Will they break the farm system up? I mentioned it like with the Rangers. They've been really building up the farm. Will they want to break this up for a guy like Bieber? But one advantage with Bieber is you have him for next year, maybe sign him to an extension. I could see the Diamondbacks getting in on this. Another team with a great farm system, the Baltimore Orioles. Man, oh man, the Orioles have been a fun team this year. Not so much for me being a Red Sox fan. My goodness, can my Red Sox stop losing games lately? Goodness gracious. But the Orioles, they were fun last year. They're even more fun this year. 35-21 as of right now. 4 games behind the Rays, so they definitely could win this division. I don't see why not. This is a really good team. This is a good all-around team, in my opinion. When you look at the offense, you got guys in here that can do different things. Just very talented players like Adley Rutschman leading the way, Santander with some power, Adam Frazier as a veteran presence, Austin Hayes, who's been really solid this year. Gunnar Henderson, he's not having an amazing season, but this is a guy I think could get red hot at some point. Mountcastle with power, driving in runs. Jorge Mateo with a great glove out there. But one thing, and a good bullpen as well. Batista and Cano in the back end, I love that. But one area that I do feel like, I mentioned a good all-around team. The starting pitching hasn't been awful, but I do think it could use an improvement. You got some guys here, Gibson, Kramer, Bradish, Wells. Remember, Grayson Rodriguez did just get sent back down recently to work on some things, to have a bit of a reset. Shane Bieber for this rotation would be huge. And I could see the Orioles being interested because at least you would have him for next year as well. And maybe they feel like that's a guy they could sign to an extension, and you could have him for, while you're in this window of contentions. I could see something, Bieber and the Orioles being a pretty good match. So, and the one thing with the Orioles is they have prospects to get this done. Okay, so don't be alarmed by this. I've included all of these guys. This is not the trade that I would do. I'm more just putting all of these guys here to just show that the Orioles could easily get a deal done. Again, this is not the trade I'm suggesting. I'm just laying out all the values here. All of these guys, Beavers, DL Hall, Kerstad, who was the number 1 pick in the last couple of years. Mayo, you got Ortiz, you got Westberg. These are all guys that are really good prospects. They could easily get a deal done if they wanted to. You have so many different ways you could get a deal done here. The question is, it's not about if they could get a deal done. It's would they want to. That's the only thing that holds me back with the Orioles, because I feel like they're taking a bit of a conservative approach. They're taking the long road. They didn't go out in the offseason and, after a good season last year, they didn't jump the gun and sign any top free agents. They signed a couple of guys, but they didn't just completely go gun-ho like the Tigers did a couple of years ago, signing Eduardo Rodriguez and Javier Baez. The Orioles just decided to take the long approach. So I wonder if they would want to take this route. Again, you would have Bieber for next year. I think the question is will they want to sign him to an extension? Or I feel like they would probably be more inclined to do something like this if he would be willing to sign an extension with Baltimore. There's question marks there, but I'm not questioning whether or not they could get a deal done. They absolutely could get a deal done. Again, not saying this is the trade. You have a bunch of different ways. I'm just showing you there's a bunch of different ways they could get this deal done. So I will put the Orioles as a contender for Shane Bieber. But the team that I think is the most dangerous for Shane Bieber are the LA Dodgers. Why? Because they also have a very good farm system. And the Dodgers, like I mentioned with the Diamondbacks, they're tied for first place as of right now, 34-23. But if this team makes the playoffs, I know they've had, just their problems in the postseason going back for years now where they choke in the playoffs. But the Dodgers, once again, a very good team this year, but the one thing they really need is starting pitching. Why? Because they've been having a ton of injuries to the starting pitching here. You still got Kershaw, but they've been having to call up some guys here. Michael Grove, he's been, up and down from the minors. Bobby Miller just made his debut recently. I think he could absolutely stay for the rest of the year. That guy's stuff is so good. He's going to have his ups and downs. He's going to get torched in a couple of starts. But Bobby Miller, man, this guy's been so good. I could see him staying. Obviously, Gonsolin, but he's had some health issues. Syndergaard, whatever, he's fine for the back end. But like I mentioned, they've been having a lot of injuries. Dustin May, Julio Urias, Pepio, he's got the strained oblique as of right now. But Michael Grove, he will be coming off the IL soon. He'll be starting this weekend. But the one thing that the Dodgers have are prospects, and if they really wanted to get a guy like Shane Bieber, who has shown that he can be consistent when it comes to giving you innings, the guy is very durable, hasn't really missed a whole lot of time. I could see the Dodgers easily getting Shane Bieber, and again, you would have him for next year too. So, and the Dodgers have money, and if they wanted to sign him to an extension, they absolutely could. They got those dollars to where they could, say, hey, sign this extension. You won't have to go out to the open market because we're giving you the moolah here. The Dodgers could get this deal done. I've included a few guys here. 4 guys already. You're already right at the median value. I did put Pepio. I know he's on the IL right now with the oblique, but he'll be fine eventually. I put Pages. I feel like Pages is always, an interesting guy to put in trade packages because he has that raw power there. I think he could be a solid addition for the Guardians. I put Nastrini and I put DePaula as well. With these guys, we got Pepio at 5. We got Pages at 6. We got DePaula at number 10 and Nastrini at number 8. But the one thing that the Dodgers can do, like the Orioles, they can mix and match guys. Maybe you could throw in Michael Busch, That could be possibly a guy you could send back. Pepio, I would imagine, maybe they would like to keep him too. But my point here is the Dodgers, they have a lot of different ways they can get this done. They got a lot of prospects that they could deal. They always have a really strong farm system. I do think the Dodgers would be a huge threat for Shane Bieber. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. What teams am I missing? Do you think there's any other teams that can make a deal? I know my potato brain is probably forgetting one team. Shane Bieber, I think, is going to be a huge commodity if the Guardians do fall out of it. I still think we need to take a bit of a wait and see approach. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Am I missing any teams? Give me your thoughts on the trades that I've proposed. Let me know some trades that you've come up with. So everyone, that's all I got for right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.